This is the TST Electric Bike, and I've been riding it for a little over 3 months. I picked the 48-volt 15-hour version with the dual suspension and the 20 by 4.0 tires, and my unit came with mechanical disc brakes. I've put a few hundred miles on it across city streets, packed gravel, and a couple of sandy paths near the beach. I'm going to lay out what's been great, what made me raise an eyebrow, and what I changed to make it fit my daily routine. Key features that drew me in were the 1500-watt peak rear hub motor, a claimed 90 newton-meters of torque, a full suspension setup, integrated 360-degree lights with turn signals, and that long moped-style seat with an integrated rack. The LCD in the center is simple and readable, and the app lets you tweak settings, including unlocking the top speed. On paper, this bike promises a lot for the money, and in many ways it delivers, but it's not without quirks. From my experience, assembly wasn't hard, but it wasn't plug and play. With the included toolkit, it took me about an hour and a half, mostly because I'm picky about torquing hardware and aligning the brakes. I had to nudge the rear fender to line up the screws, and one bolt hole felt a little tight. Nothing a dab of thread lube and patience couldn't solve. The derailleur was close out of the box, but needed a quarter turn on the barrel adjuster to shift cleanly through all 7 gears. The tires shipped at high pressure. I dropped them to 18 psi for pavement and around 12 to 14 psi on gravel and sand, which made a big difference in comfort and traction. The first ride told me 2 things right away. The motor is punchy, and the bike is heavier than it looks. At roughly 72 pounds, it's not something I want to haul up a flight of stairs every day. But on the road, the weight works in its favor. Once rolling, it feels planted. The PS, pedal assist, uses a speed sensor, which means it kicks in when the wheels are moving, not based on how hard you press the pedals. It's predictable and smooth. Pass 1 and 2 are mellow for cruising bike paths. Pass 3 and 4 are my sweet spots for hilly neighborhood streets. Pass 5 and throttle are what I use for short bursts or merging into faster traffic. With the app, I set the max speed to 28 miles per hour. I rarely sit at that speed for long because the steering starts to feel twitchy, but it's nice to have the headroom. Check your local rules if you unlock it. Hill climbing impressed me. There's a steep block on my commute, around a quarter mile, and the TST pulls it without drama. I weigh about 185 pounds, and with a backpack and occasional groceries on the rack, I still climb at 15 to 18 miles per hour using PS4 or throttle. The full suspension is the quiet star here. It smooths out potholes and curb cuts and keeps the bike composed on washboard gravel. You will feel quick steering at higher speeds, largely due to the short wheelbase and fat tires, but keeping your weight centered and looking far ahead helps. I wouldn't call it unstable, just sensitive to inputs. The seat looks great and works well for short hops with a passenger, but for longer solo rides, the flat moped-style pad can put pressure in the wrong places. In my opinion, the seat is fine up to 20 to 30 minutes. After that, I notice hot spots. I solved this by adding a slim gel topper and positioning myself toward the front so I can get a better pedal stroke. The reach is comfortable for my height, and the bars land naturally, but the left thumb throttle took me a week to really love. I've used right-hand twist throttles in the past, so this felt different. Now it's second nature. Brakes on my bike are mechanical discs. They're adequate once you bed them in properly, but they need more lever force than hydraulic brakes. I adjusted the pads after the first 60 miles and again around 250 miles as the cable stretched. In the rain, stopping power is okay, not amazing. Upgrading to better pads made a noticeable improvement. If you're expecting one-finger braking, you won't get that here. Plan for earlier braking distances, especially when loaded. Battery life depends on how you ride. The 48-volt 15-hour pack is 720 hours. Riding mostly throttle, stop-and-go city miles, I see around 22 to 28 miles per charge. With Pass 2-3 and a steady pace around 16-18 miles per hour, I get 35 to 45 miles. On a slow, flat rail trail day with Pass 1, I stretched it just over 50 miles by taking it easy. The marketing claims over 60 miles, and I can see that being possible if you pedal more than I do and keep the assist low. Charging to full takes about 5 hours for me. I've charged it both on the bike and off the bike, and the removable battery lock feels sturdy. The charger isn't loud, which is nice if you're charging in an apartment. Lighting and visibility are strong points. The headlight is bright and adjustable, the brake light pops, and the turn signals actually get noticed. I ride early mornings, and I've had drivers slow down because they see the signal. Just make sure the headlight isn't tipped too high, it can glare. The LCD is easy to read in shade. Under noon sun it washes a bit, but tilting it helps. The included rack has been super useful. I've hauled a week's groceries with no wobble, and the mounting points feel solid. Reliability for me has been mostly good. No dead-on-arrival drama, no controller fails. I did have a squeaky rear rotor around 180 miles that turned out to be a slight rub. A half turn on the caliper and a quick rebed fixed it. One time the app wouldn't connect via Bluetooth. Rebooting the display solved it. The kickstand stayed tight, the spokes have held tension, and the chain stretch is normal so far, with casual lube every week. I tightened a loose fender bolt once. That's been the extent of maintenance beyond normal checks. Comfort-wise, the suspension does the heavy lifting. The fat tires and dual shocks soak up chatter, which is a big reason I keep choosing this bike for rough pavement and trail shortcuts. The flip side is that it encourages higher speeds over junky roads, so I remind myself it's still a bicycle chassis. Also, because the geometry is more moped than pedal bike, your pedal stroke isn't as powerful at higher speeds. Above 20 miles per hour, the 7-speed feels like you're spinning out. If you love to pedal hard, keep that in mind. It's perfect for short to medium commutes, errands, beach towns, RV trips, and campus runs where you want throttle convenience and real suspension comfort. It's also great for riders who need a higher weight rating. The label says up to 500 pounds. And while I haven't tested anywhere near that, carrying cargo has felt stable. If you need to carry it upstairs every day or you want a fitness-forward pedaling feel, you may want a lighter, ringing, more traditional e-bike. Support-wise, I reached out once about a missing small fastener for the rack. I got an email back the next day and a parts envelope later that week. No complaints there. The warranty is 180 days, which is better than nothing, though I wish it were a full year. In my opinion, that would match the way most people actually use these bikes. A few setup tips for new riders. Drop tire pressure for comfort. Bed the brakes with a dozen firm stops for moderate speed. Check every bolt after your first 50 miles, and take the time to tune the derailleur once the cable settles. Also, respect the speed. It will do 28 miles per hour if you unlock it, but the bike feels happiest at 18 to 23 miles per hour. Helmets always, mirrors help, and if you ride at night, aim that headlight right. From my experience, the TST delivers on power, comfort, and everyday utility. The torque feels real, the suspension makes rough routes easy, and the integrated lighting plus rack turn it into a practical daily ride. The compromises are straightforward: weight, mechanical brakes that need periodic attention, a seat that favors short stints, and a pedaling position that's more scooter than road bike. I'd recommend this for riders who prioritize throttle riding with occasional pedaling, want a cushy ride over cracked streets and light trails, and care about built-in lights and cargo options. If you're tall and plan to pedal for fitness, or you demand featherweight handling and hydraulic brake feel out of the box, you'll want to budget for a couple upgrades or consider a different style. In conclusion, the TST Electric Bike for adults gives a lot of value for the price bracket. It's a fun, capable all-terrain cruiser that shines in daily use and weekend wandering. It's not perfect, but after 3 months I still reach for it because it makes short trips effortless and rough roads feel smooth. And it hasn't let me down. If this video helped, subscribe to the channel and drop your questions or your own experiences in the comments. Thank you for watching.